And just like that, football is back. Well, that's a bit overexposed, isn't it there? Stephen here, back with another video. Manchester City are back in pre-season action tonight. It's finally come around. And I thought I'd use this chance today to educate you a little bit on some of the names that you may not be familiar with. One or two of these players I haven't seen an awful lot of myself. I know all the names, of course. So I'm going to be honest when I don't know everything about a player. But I've done my research. I've chatted about them a little bit. I've looked up what to say about them and all that kind of stuff. So we should be able to go through this little journey together and talk about all these players and learn a fair bit, hopefully. Yeah, so if you like this kind of content, give the video a like. I will be live tonight for a watch-along, of course, ahead of the game. Looking forward to that. It should be an awful lot of fun. I'll be live at 12:30. It's going to be crazy, but I'll do it anyway. It'll be on my YouTube channel. It'll be fun. So, but today, the plan is to go through all the names that you may not know about. I will, of course, cover the first team players a little bit, but I want to be focused mainly on the players that not everyone knows, because that's what we're all here for. So immediately, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, etc, etc. Gonna bring up the squad. So I'll go through the names that you know about. Calvin Phillips, you know about Calvin Phillips. Erling Haaland, you know about Erling Haaland. Jack Grealish, Stefan Ortega, Ederson, Scott Carson, Oscar Bob. Rico's in there as well somewhere in terms of the first team names. Look, nothing much to say about Calvin Phillips. I don't think he's going to have a chance to impress. He's there out of respect, but he'll be leaving before the transfer window, I'm almost certain. Erling Jack looking great shape. Stefan Ortega could be our number one next season. We'll see. And we'll also see what Ederson's like in terms of where his head's at. Scott Carson there. Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis have both been talking really passionately in the press conferences about how they want to stay, they want to get chances and all that kind of stuff. I don't think they're going anywhere, which is nice. They understand that you've got to hang around and learn from the very best. And of course, as well, when you get past those first team names that you're familiar with, there's a whole bunch of players that you may... So they're the ones you know about, and you might know about the following players. James McAtee, of course. James McAtee, I woke up and I was very excited to see some quotes from Guardiola. Let me just bring them up very quickly. Quotes from Guardiola about James McAtee last night. It's the kind of thing you want to see. A lovely quote to wake up. Guardiola massively praising James McAtee and saying how he wants him around the first team this coming season. There you go. He said, I would love to see James to keep McAtee. I'd love to have James McAtee to keep him next season with City because he's a special guy to play in the small spaces and in the pockets. We don't have many. When you play in the Premier League and a team fights not to be relegated, you get something special. I'm curious to see Maka especially. He's a player of a high opinion of him. I would like to see if he can insert properly with the team. Really encouraging that. By the way, do get in the chat if you are watching live. I want to know what players you are excited to see. So James McAtee, after a loan at Sheffield United, 2 loans, Guardiola's going to be paying attention to him. I like that an awful lot. As well, you might know Michael Hamilton, of course. He sort of broke into a sort of household name for Manchester City fans when he scored in the Club World Cup. Hopefully he can push on again. I think he's about 20 years old now, Michael Hamilton. If I'm being honest, with Savio signing, Oscar Bob, Jack Grealish, Doku, Phil out wide, Bernardo, he's not going to get a chance. But this could be his chance to make a name for himself in pre-season, get some minutes under his belt, and maybe get a really good loan in the Championship next year. That would be great for him. Ben Knight's there as well. Ben Knight is like 22 years old, I think now. He seems to spawn every pre-season. Ben is a talented footballer, but he's had so many injuries. I feel so sorry for him. Fingers crossed he can sort of find a career, but this will be his chance to get himself on the market once again. A name I'm very much excited, looking forward to seeing, is Maximo Perone. Maximo Perone went on loan last season to Las Palmas, and he was absolutely brilliant for them. He looks like he's grown a little bit physically, which is great. I see Maximo Perone as a potential first-team player. I really do. I'm looking forward to see how he gets on in this pre-season because, look, he allegedly is going back on loan, but it's not been confirmed yet. Hence why he's here. 21 years old now. Had an awful lot of football last season in La Liga, where he was statistically one of the most progressive players of his age. 23 appearances last season, I think, for Las Palmas. Like one of the most progressive passes and one of the best defensive players of his age in the top 5 leagues. Genuinely really impressive. So I can't wait to see how he gets on. And given that, we are potentially short of a midfielder to back up Rodri, he's not a Rodri replacement, but someone alongside him, I don't know, got a chance to impress here. There's also Joshua Wilson Esbrand, of course, you will know about. 21 years old. He's had loans to Cardiff and Reims over in the French league. They've been a bit average, if I'm being honest, those loans. They haven't gone perfectly well. This is once again another chance for him to get himself in the window and maybe get another loan or secure a permanent move away. Likewise for Luke Mbete, who had a Huddersfield loan, didn't go too great, nor did the Bolton Wanderers one, if I'm being honest. And then he went on loan to Den Bosch in the second tier of Dutch football. I think he's 21 now, I think, as well. 20 or 21. Luke Mbete is a really good, talented centre-back, but he needs to move on as well. So fingers crossed this could be his chance. And the last one of the category of names you might know about is going to be Callum Doyle. Callum Doyle has had many great loans now. He's still only like 20 years old, I think. Let me double check his age, Callum Doyle. But either way, his loans have been absolutely excellent. Sunderland loan in League One when he was 17. He played more or less every single week, was excellent. Then he went on loan to Coventry as they challenged for promotion, played every single week. Then he did the same at Leicester last season. Unfortunately, he got injured and lost his place in the team because he was out for an awful long time. But he was great for them as well. And Callum was talking about how he's looking forward to playing around the first team, working with Pep Guardiola. Yeah, he's 20 now, turns 21 in October. Callum is going on loan, to Norwich City. I saw that as well. He's a really, really good player. Is he going on loan to Norwich City? Definitely. But either way, he's probably going to go on loan. And he's a cracking player. He's about to, isn't he? But he's got, he's got an experience here with Guardiola, and it's not been done yet, so we'll see how it goes, Who knows? He could impress, and he could make a name for himself. So they're the ones that I wanted to talk about in terms of, you may have heard of. And now I'm going to talk about the players that you probably haven't heard of and go through them one by one, because I think this is where you guys are actually here for, the names that you haven't heard of. And I'll start immediately with this fella. Jacob Wright, 18 years old. Now, you may have heard of him, actually. He actually made an appearance last season. Was it in the Premier League? I feel like it was. Or was it Luton in the FA Cup? He made an appearance anyway last year. And I know Manchester City rate this guy very, very highly. They really do. Sort of like holding midfielder. He's been compared to a young Jorginho. And Jorginho is a very smart footballer who can receive the ball in tight spaces. And Jacob Wright, as I chatted to Asan on the video, he's just signed. What's it called? Rock Nation? Either way, he signed to a big agency, and he's sort of on the up. His profile is massively flying. This is a name to absolutely, it's Rock Nation. We were a massive sporting agency. This is a name to 100% keep an eye on. A really talented midfielder. So much ability. Local lad. He's local, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's a local lad. I don't know how long he's been at Manchester City. I can't really remember how long he's been there. 1 second, let me double check. Someone in the chat will be able to answer that for you. But either way, a really talented... Jay-Z's agency, that's crazy. A really talented player. And I can't wait to see how he develops. He's the one I've got a feeling will play an awful lot of football in this preseason tour, and hopefully impress Guardiola an awful lot. You've also got as well Jadel Katongo. I like Jadel Katongo. I think he's a really smart footballer, and every time I saw him, I was impressed with him. He actually went on loan last season and won the EFL trophy at Peterborough. They loved him there. I'll try and get up how much game time he actually played, but they really liked him. They saw him as a proper prospect. 19 years old now, turns 20 in September, but he played like 30 odd times last season for Peterborough, which was really, really impressive. And he was good for them, like a really technical player. You can play centre back, you can play right back, but he's elegant. He got an awful lot of composure on the ball, tall, strong, good turn of pace. He's going to do well, and he's going to have a good career, absolutely. Let's see how well he can do in this preseason, but do not be surprised when you look at that squad to see him get an awful lot of game time once again on this tour. One of the more experienced young players in this team, and absolutely he's got that, once again, first team experience professionally. Next up is Joel Ndala, a name on the lips of anyone who pays attention to the academy prospects. A man that's apparently on the verge of leaving Manchester City. Now, he might do, he might not, but he seems to be treading a very similar path to Jadon Sancho. Massively impressing England youth level. Under 17 World Cup, he got 3 goals and 2 assists in just 4 appearances. And at one point, he destroyed Brazil, which was very impressive. He turned 18 a few weeks back in May. He's going to be a very, very exciting player. I think he wants to move on, and I wouldn't really blame him when you see the young players we've got there, Doku, Savinho, Oscar Bob. It's very hard to get into this Manchester City side, but this could once again be a chance for him to make a bit of a name for himself. A very talented, very tricky player. Plays off the left, very Sancho-like, good turn of pace, excellent technique, a goal scorer. Yeah, just really good. Very impressive. And I got an awful lot of time for Joel Ndala. And I hope we see him on the pitch. And I've got a feeling we will be. Katonga played 43, apparently, according to Samir. I just went off Wikipedia there, mate. I didn't double check it, but I trust you on that. He played a lot of football either way. But Ndala is absolutely one to pay attention to with so much ability. A special talent. I'd be gutted if we lost him. There's rumours of the German clubs kind of hunting around for a potential, bargain there. Because we've seen that path way happened before where they leave. It doesn't always work. We saw Rabbi Matondo leave, of course, as well, thinking the same thing would happen to him, but it didn't happen. But who knows? It could happen for him. Very skillful, highly technical, and one definitely to keep an eye on. Next on my list of players is Tom Galvez, a 19-year-old left-back, and already, interestingly, a full Finnish international. He plays for Finland. He's got a really good turn of pace. He's a creative fullback, basically. Good vision. Likes to beat people. Good dribbling ability. A darting fullback. Actually born in London, despite playing for Finland. I think this is through his mother's side. And he played his first game for them against Sweden in January 2023. So this guy's already got first-team experience internationally, which is crazy. He's got 3 full caps, and he was their Young Player of the Year in 2023. Competitive debut was against San Marino in November of last year. And he got an assist in that game as well, which was very, very impressive. He's going on loan, to Lask, which is over in Austria. So he's off to get first-team football. Once again, this is the kind of guy I can imagine that will leave and then have a really good career and then eventually be a Champions League club by his early 20s. He's a very typical City fullback. He's intelligent. He can move central. He can support the midfield. He can go wide. I'd like to see him stay, but he's not going to get a chance with Ake and Vardiol. A loan would be really good for him. Absolutely. And I do remember Jaden Braff. I do Leroy Sané. I remember him. Leroy Sané in the chat. I remember him. So a warning for Joel Ndala. Thankfully, Ndala doesn't seem to have the ego that Braff did, which is good news for him. But yeah, Tom Galvez, 19 years old. One that will once again get football on this tour because of the lack of options available. And I think you're going to like him, guys. He's a really tricky fullback. Tenacious, hard-working. By the way, please give the video a like. It's massively appreciated if you don't mind. It helps support the channel and these kind of videos as well. Next up on the list is Nico O'Reilly. Such a majestically talented footballer. 19 years old. Had quite a few bad injuries. But he's also scored some absolutely absurd goals. I implore you to go and Google, go on YouTube and look for Nico O'Reilly's goals, because this guy is so talented. He's got this sort of Cole Palmer-esque sort of laconic stride to him. You know what I mean? It's sort of tall, lanky, but exceptionally technical. Decent turn of pace as well, like Cole Palmer's got. Very darting, but also just capable of a spectacular goal. He can play as a false 9 or attacking midfield. He can play out wide. He can play as a striker. A complete forward, basically. And as you can see, he's captain youth teams as well. Nico O'Reilly is one to pay massive attention to. I really like him. I think he's a really smart footballer. And hopefully one that, I don't know what he's going to do from here. He might stay around again, but he turns 20 next year, so he's got a little bit of time. But, I don't know where he's going to go this season. But he's, very smart. He's a typical Manchester City player. Definitely one to keep an eye on yet again. Yeah, Nico O'Reilly, excellent talent. You've got Mahamadou Suso as well. Another one who's been around the first team an awful lot. You'll know him if you're paying attention to him. 19 years old, a DM. He's been at City for, how long has he been at City for now? A while, I think. For 2017 he joined from Espanyol. And he's actually represented England as well, and Spain at youth level, which is, he's getting about there, man. That guy, but he's very, very, very good. A very talented player. He's already made his debut, of course, as well. He came on against Red Star Belgrade as a substitute in the Champions League, which is impressive. And you know what? You know, if you've seen Mahamadou Sissoko play, you'll know he's smart on the ball. You know, he's got good energy. It's a lazy comparison, but there are similarities to Romeo Lavia in the way that he plays. Precise with his passing, aggressive with his work rate, and a really smart footballer. Another that might be looking now at 19 years old and going, what is my next step? Where do I go from here? Absolutely will get game time, you know, alongside probably Calvin Phillips or someone like that in midfield in this tour. And I can't wait to see him play again, you know, a talented footballer who will hopefully use this as a springboard for his career. Suso, yeah, smart player. They're all good players, as you can tell. Justin Pavardou is a really, really effective forward. I really like Justin Pavardou. I think I butchered his name there, but only 17 years old, so one of the youngest on this tour. I've just put forward there because he can play anywhere. He can play attacking midfielder, he can play as a striker, he can play as a right winger. And he was also the man who broke the deadlock in the 2024 FA Youth Cup final. Scored the first goal as he went on to win 4-0. He's just so dynamic, so skillful. He's got a great ability to sort of dart past people. And there was also a clip last season, if you remember, where Haaland was reviewing goals. They had... was it Bunny Shaw? I think it was Bunny Shaw. They had Justin and they had Haaland reviewing all levels of goals and so on. And Haaland was very impressed. But yeah, hard-working, great composure, tricky. A guy I'd love to see because I think he deserves it. I think he's been excellent for all the academy sides and absolutely is there on merit, even away from all the players not being there. I like him a lot, Justin Pavardou. I think he's going to have a really good career. A complete forward. And these days, it's not just enough. It's not just... Carlos Borges was in that video too. That's a good point. Yeah, it's not just enough to be a striker or a midfielder, or you have to be versatile, and Justin Pavardou epitomises that. He can play anywhere across the front line. And likewise, this man here, Jaden Heskey, a name that most of you will be familiar with, literally the son of the iconic Emil Heskey. Not quite as tall as his dad, but Jaden has had a really good season last year. A play of the season, and players play of the season actually, for the under-18 scholar. Yeah, he was really good last season for them. And once again, another player that's versatile. He is a striker, but he's played in midfield as well. And because he's got that immense work rate, like his dad, he's got the confidence of the ball at his feet as well. He can play pretty much anywhere and give you a really, really good game. He's such a smart footballer. I've got an awful lot of time for Jaden Heskey. He's going to go far in football. And once again, I want to be curious to see where he plays, because obviously Haaland is there. You'd expect him to come off occasionally for maybe Jaden Heskey, or maybe Ben Knight will probably get the call. But Heskey, I hope he gets on the pitch. I think he will do. He deserves it with his performances last season. But once again, describe him sort of like... he's bustling. He's not the trickiest guy in the world, but his touch is good. He's very clinical. His movement's really good. He's got a good turn of pace, and his work rate's excellent. Of course, he plays for Man City, so his touch is always going to be good. Keep an eye on him. Next up is Stephen Mfuni. Easily the youngest player there, 16-year-old centre-back. This guy is talented. I'm getting flashbacks to Cameron Humphreys here with a 16-year-old on tour. No, he's so good. He's so good. He's tall, as you can see. You can tell he's tall just by that picture. About 6'2", 6'3", or something like that. Left-sided defender. He plays at centre-back mainly. But Stephen Mfuni is definitely one to keep a very keen eye on. I really like the look of this kid. I haven't seen an awful lot, but every single day he just sees ooze class. So much personality. A youth international, of course, already. An excellent player. Composed, strong. He's been playing for England youth teams. He's one of the youngest members of the squad, and he's already on tour here. He will play in this team as well. If you've got that strength, you've got that pace, you're good on the ball, you're strong, you're commanding, you've got a big chance. And Mfuni absolutely ticks all those boxes. Yeah. Really excited to watch him a little bit more around the first team. And as you'd expect from a Manchester City centre-back, he can step into the midfield. He can bring the ball forward. And he can create from pretty much deep, which is so impressive. A guy who's going to get a first-team experience. Hopefully he has a better career than Cameron Humphreys. He's doing pretty well for himself now, Cameron Humphreys, admittedly. But when he played for the first team at 16, we all thought, is this guy going to be a superstar? It turned out, of course, he had a few loans and he's worked his way back. But I can't wait to see this kid alongside, some superstars. Vardy will be there in a week or so. That would be good fun as well. Lakely Samuel, another one who's so dependable. He's had a really good season last year. Only 8 when he joined Manchester City, you know. He's one of those guys who just put defender because he can play pretty much anywhere. He's even got the Akanji hairstyle going on there, and he's got the versatility as well. He can play right back, he can play centre back. He pretty much operates anywhere defensively. His leadership is so good. He's dependable. He's strong. He's quick. He's technically good. He's smart. He's what you'd expect, you know. He's captained under 21s and the EDS, the Premier League, UEFA Youth League a bunch of times. Yeah, a really smart player. And a guy, I reckon, at 18 years old, who'll probably hang around again, but will probably consider a loan if it comes his way. Obviously, after signing his scholarship in 2022, he helped the 80s retain the title and then the national title as well in 22-23. Another good player, versatile. Reminds you a little bit of the lad that went to Burnley, Egan Riley. Yeah, very good player. You got Jahmai Simpson-Pusey as well here, another player. Once again, as you can see there, a captain material, holding the FA Youth Cup here. He captained the FA Youth Cup winning side back in May against Leeds when he won 4-0. And as you watch him, you can tell he's a big lad, man. Every time I've seen him play, I'm so impressed by the way that he holds his strength, if that makes sense. Strong, composed, elegant, pacey, passing. It's like City have got the conveyor belt of these young, strong, technically excellent centre-backs who all have leadership abilities. It's a really nice collection of young players to have. And Jahmai Simpson-Pusey will absolutely be trying to use this as a chance to sort of kind of get his name out a little bit more as well. He probably will stay again this season. He's got an awful lot of chance to get a start, I would say, potentially. From Guardiola in this tournament. Like, I think he will do in this tournament. Yeah, it's a tournament, it's pre-season tour. So they are all the names, I think, that you probably don't know. I've gone through all those. Yeah, it's a funny name. I'm not going to say, I don't want to bully the poor lad in the chat there. But they're the names that I've gone through. Of course, I already talked about, you know, your Peronis, your McAtees at the start of the video. So if you're just joining now, go back and watch that at the start. There's also a name on tour that a lot of us probably don't know. This young lad who's a trialist called Amar Fateh. Fateh? I don't know. He's 20 years old and he's a winger. I didn't know much about him, but the wonderful people over at City actually did a little biography about him. And he's a trialist, so he's not an academy player I know anything about. He's been at Lamel, obviously, one of Manchester City, City Football Group's club, on loan from Troyes, when he's played a little bit over there. He signed for around £5 million, and he joined Lamel on loan. And apparently, he's here to sort of gain some experience after recovering from some injuries. I don't know if he's highly rated forward. I don't know much about him at all. We'll see how he goes. Honestly, I know as much as you do. I've never heard of him. But he's a guy on loan. Not on loan, he's on trial. I think he's recovering from injury and they thought it'd be good for him to get a bit of experience. Hopefully, maybe put himself in the shot window of a really good cameo and maybe get a loan there. So there you go, guys. Just a quick video going through all those names. I hope you enjoyed this. I will be live tonight around midnight for the for the watch along, and I'll do the match reaction as well. I won't be at full volume because obviously my family will be asleep, but I'll be doing it, and I'll have to have a nap at some point today. That is my rundown of the players. I personally can't wait to see Jacob Wright. I want to see how Maximo Perone has developed. I haven't got time for a quiz today. Sorry, mate. I've got to go and get my son from the park with his grandma. I'm looking forward to seeing Ndala. Stephen Mfuni. I can't wait to see how Perone's developed, and McAtee as well. Guardiola's words have been very positive, and I can't wait to see the first team players back in action as well. It should be an awful lot of fun. Thanks for watching this. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do give the video a like. I would love to do more academy content, but I've been struggling the past year and a half because I've not got to as many games because I have a small academy prospect myself who's taking up all my time. Hopefully, as he gets older, I get more time. I start to go to academy games again, and it'll be good fun, and I'll be able to be a little bit more informative on it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Fingers crossed for Justin Pawado. Hat-trick tonight, celebrating with Haaland after Nico Riley puts it on the plate for him. It'd be great stuff. In a bit. Love you all loads. Bye-bye. Like, comment, subscribe. In a bit.